Welcome back to the Grow You Girl channel. And this time of year, our gardens are looking beautiful and so serene. But here's the truth, my friends, is that while they look lush and beautiful from afar, we all know, those of us who are up close and personal in our gardens, there's a lot of things that come, like heat and bugs and weeds. And we're going to talk about how to deal with it in this week's episode. Well, my friends, they call these the dog days of summer. We get to the mid part of summer, and our lovely, beautiful garden starts to become quite a chore. And I thought today what we would do is, as I said in the intro, just go through the garden and talk about some of the challenges that I have been facing in my garden, and knowing how I deal with them moving forward, give you a little support, know that you're not alone out there if you're feeling the midsummer struggle, as I like to think of it. And everything from like this catnip that has somehow just appeared, and I need to cut that back because I don't want it spreading all over the place. We have an apple tree in our yard. So we have apples that, oh, look at, there's a butterfly over there. Isn't that beautiful? There is the beauty amongst the problems, which is why we stay here. Look at this butterfly. I have to, oh my, how lovely. Um, yeah, so we have to look at the good amongst the things that challenge us, like anything in life, too. So with the apples, the dogs love the apples, right, Abby? So I try to pick them up as quickly as I can because I don't want them, as Abby's going to prove right there for us. Yeah, she likes to eat those apples. What was I gonna say? Anyway, so many distractions, right? Do you ever feel distracted in your garden? Holy moly, I sure do. So many things to think about and look at and take care of. But knowing that new things are coming, like look at this loose strife that's just starting to come into bloom, which is beautiful. While the delphiniums need to be cut back because they're almost done. This larkspur is almost done and really getting very leggy and ugly, and I need to take care of that. That's one of the things, because I have a lot of other things getting ready to pop up. So it's getting the things out of the way that are causing problems. And again, but then looking at, like, my peppers are doing really well. Look at this Anaheim pepper right here. Where did it go? I just saw it. It's a big one. Um, well, there's a little baby one. But there's another, oh, there's a big one right there. Luna's looking in here too. But yeah, the peppers are doing really well. And I know now, and here's another one of my problems right now is these grasshoppers, which I'll bop that one off for now. But I do have a little grasshopper catcher that I'll show you in our journeys here today. And then there's some beds, like this lavender bed. I've just been delighted with it, that it is just so self-maintaining. It's one of the self-maintaining. There's this geranium here that needs to be deadheaded a bit, but it's not too bad. I've got this dill that just came up out of nowhere. And yeah, so there is that bed that's self-maintaining, while other beds are just doing fantastic as well. The Shasta daisies love this time of year. They're doing really good. And it's keeping your eyes on your water as well, because sometimes we just adjusted our water to start doing it earlier in the morning. We have our irrigation go on. We were having it on at 9, which is just too late with this heat. Like today's supposed to be 100 degrees. And so we have it going on at the grass goes at 6:30, and then the rest of the different zones start at 7 o'clock in the morning. So there is that. There's the deadheading that needs to happen. I desperately need to get in here and get some deadheading done in here. I'm also dealing with some bugs, the bugs of the season. My big bug this season, and I'd love to know what yours are that you're dealing with, are earwigs, pincher bugs. They have been just having a heyday with my zinnias. I'll show you my other zinnia bed here in a minute, that they really got to, but they just, You can tell, I mean, there's a little bit of grasshopper damage, but there's also a lot of earwig damage, which I think is worse, which you will be finding cups around my garden because, as well as beer cans, because I pour most of the beer into different cups and then I leave the can and I can see that there's earwigs inside of it. Earwigs are attracted to beer for some reason. Use Bud Light seems to work really well. Um, so getting them under control because they have been a problem. Grasshoppers not as bad this year, but the earwigs are my biggest problem this year. I've got a lot of deadheading to do. I've debated about just pulling this out, this bachelor button that came up all on its own. I debated about taking it out completely, but the bees really, the pollinators really love it. So I'm leaving it in for now. And yeah, so many other things. This is another bachelor's button over here that it just desperately needs to either be pulled out or, but again, the bees love it. So I'm just leaving it for now. And then I look in between at the different coneflowers / echinacea that's doing really well. And look at these tomatoes. My goodness. Again, I've really spent a lot of time on them this past week, cutting them back. They were getting a lot of extra growth. Keeping an eye on your things. And it's, you know, look at all the tomatoes that are coming in. Just really fantastic. The zinnias down here again. I tried an IPA. I think Bud Light works better and it's a lot cheaper as well. But I forget the name of these zinnias. Somebody had sent me these seeds, but they look just like the Persian carpet from, oh, there's the butterfly again. We've been getting a lot of butterflies. Again, the positive with the negative things that come. We've got sunflowers coming in that are just, I love sunflowers so much. My vegetable bed, I'll put a picture up here of what it looked like at the beginning of this week. The earwigs had really just done a number on this bed, but the onion flowers are blooming. And then, you know, this is the thing at this time of year, there's no rhyme or reason. This marigold and this marigold I planted at the same time. This one is probably not getting enough water for some reason, so I've got to investigate that. And then look at over here how good these marigolds are doing. And they also, you know, marigolds are great to have around for pests. I had so many pests in this bed that have the kohlrabi in it and a variety of different things that I just needed to start getting. Look at that, even the bok choy, which they really did a number on, is flowering. I love to watch things flower like that, you know, it's probably going to make it bitter, but it's still a pretty flower in that. Again, the good with the not so good. This bed turned out that we had there wasn't enough water going on. And that's the thing too. When your water somehow gets, like, the plants grow up over the sprinkler, and that's what happened in here. I absolutely need to harvest these in the next couple of days, the oregano and the tarragon. I make a nice little herb blend out of that. Look at that little bee on the oregano flowers. I like to wait until my oregano flowers come on because I make them part of my dried herb formula. I just think they taste good. A lot of people have mixed feelings about that. My lettuce bed, definitely bolting, definitely needs some TLC. I will have to get to that. But you know, it's just one of those things you take on one. This is St. John's wort, which again, the pollinators just absolutely love. You take on one challenge at a time, because if you don't, I always say in the garden, I like to look at it as my to-dos. You know, let's look at the to-dos versus constantly to do. Oh my God, I have all this to do in the garden. If I looked at it in that light, I would honestly go crazy. Look at this phlox. I just recently got this at a plant sale and I'm just absolutely loving the color. And I'm going to knock on something because the earwigs don't seem to be that bad in this. And look at the zinnias. They're doing really well in this bed. what was I going to say? I wanted to say too, it's like, when spring is here, it's kind of like, for many of you, you may not know that I was a business coach for 25 years. I've been an entrepreneur my entire career, so many more years. And look at this yarrow. Isn't it just amazing? And we actually cut this bush back. But, like when a business is brand new, everyone is so happy, or the owner, if you're an owner of a business, right, there's that adrenaline rush. And it's the same, I think, in the beginning in spring when there's new plants and your perennials are coming up. Look at all these tomatoes are doing lovely over here in these barrels. The flowers, the zinnias in here are starting to bloom. But then after a while, when the problems start, the money gets short, all the things that can happen in a small business, yeah, sadly, people can lose interest in, and the people that I've coached, that's usually when it starts to go bad, after year 1 or 2, and when we get into the season. Now here is my zinnia bed. I love zinnias, and here's what these darn earwigs have been doing to the leaves of my zinnias. They're getting ready to bloom any day now. And this morning I just came in and hand-picked a lot of those darn earwigs. Look at this leaf. That is just, let me grab another one. There's plenty of them, unfortunately, to show you. Like, look at that. So there's earwigs, and then the other thing that we have, which I find mostly here on this grapevine, is Japanese beetles. I am happy to say that we don't have that bad of a problem. I know people that have hundreds of them. But we can usually pick them off with our little Tupperware picker that I have, and nothing fancy. I'll go get it here in just a sec as I wrap up this little tour. But they don't like mint, the earwigs, but then again, the grasshoppers, look. So I just like to go in and just clean off, more for my peace of mind than anything else. But also you can start to get some disease in the leaves, and you definitely don't want that. But here is an example of earwigs just in the night. I'll clean those out. And so this is zucchini, and they've really been playing havoc on that. So that is what I wanted to show you. I'm wondering what I did with my little grasshopper. Oh, here it is. It's over here. Let me go get this, and then I will send you on your way for the day. And just remember, early morning, farmers had it right. Early morning in the garden is always best. And this is my little contraption that I use for, isn't that silly? And then I have a bucket of water that sits here that I just drop them in, soapy water. But this is my little contraption that it has, try to do this with the phone, but it has the lid that comes off with this, and there you have it. And I catch many a grasshopper and Japanese beetles are actually pretty easy to catch because they're slow moving, but you just don't want to not, and I'll put a picture of a Japanese beetle on the screen so that I know you know what a grasshopper looks like, but just in case you don't know about the Japanese beetle. Oh, look at these guys are coming up. The allium is starting to fully bloom. Yeah, so it's getting past the heat, getting past the bugs, and finding joy in your garden. And remembering it's about the to-dos and not the to-dos. Take good care, my friend, and let's grow. Thanks for growing with us, and we will see you next time. And in the meantime, be sure to like, comment, let us know what really resonated for you in this video, and then of course be sure to subscribe at no cost to you and be updated when we have new videos up.